Hey guys, welcome back to Filter Coffee Football. Uh, Lots of health issue concern related cancellations have allowed us to have the luxury of time to talk about something else. Unfortunately, not great news that we are talking about today. It's Sergio Aguero who announced his retirement. Just recently joined Barcelona this season in October in a 1-1 draw against Alaves. He was taken off at halftime because of some chest pain issues. On further investigation, they found out that he has cardiac arrhythmia. Basically, his heart doesn't beat in a set sequence. It can
In the
keep
right way.
changing and
Yeah.
keep mixing up. So was at a huge risk for a cardiac arrest, possibly if he continued to play. So, I mean, the right choice to make in that situation. And as of the last 48 hours, he officially announced his retirement from
Wasn't that
football.
something? Yeah. Wasn't that something similar to Christian Eriksen too?
Yes, Christian Eriksen had a similar issue. Now, with his situation, he's not particularly disallowed to play, but I think with his situation, Inter Milan doesn't want him to play because they would rather not risk him playing in that situation. So that's a slightly different situation where Eriksen actually genuinely wants to play. And his examination, from what I know, came back normal. They couldn't really find out why exactly he
Yeah.
had
It
that
was a
event.
one-off thing.
Exactly, which is kind of why he is okay with getting back in because there is no, one thing that okay, this is wrong with you. But that's also the reason why Inter Milan don't want him to play because they don't know what might go wrong. And
Exactly.
that's I get both sides of the story. But with Aguero, it was a little bit more cut and dry. There was a very objective reason for why continuing to play football is probably not um, the best decision for him. But um, another amazing player saying goodbye. Probably a very underrated footballer in his own right. Because uh, why don't you say something about him first, and then I've just written down a few of his records from the Premier League that I want to go about just to kind
93
of give people an
colon
idea.
20. 93 colon 20. Man City versus what was it?
QPR.
QPR. The look on everyone's face was palpable. I mean, that's what I really remember him for. But that being said, Sergio Aguero, clinical striker. Maybe if he still didn't play 30 games, his scoring rate would still be higher than some other forwards. That was a stat that I came across.
Yeah, I mean, he was part of the vanguard that really oversaw the change in fortunes of Manchester City. One of the first early, transfers after the takeover, and he's been with the club for a decade. Won a bunch of trophies. Unfortunately, the last match that he played for Manchester City was the loss to Chelsea in the Champions League. Probably a trophy that he personally really deserved. And yeah, these are some of the records that he holds in the Premier League. 181 goals, which is the most by any foreign player to have played in the Premier League. Best minutes to goal ratio, like you said, clinical striker. He has a goal for every 108 minutes that he's played in the Premier League, which is still higher than Mo Salah as well, who is on a hot streak himself. So that's again amazing. He's won 7 Player of the Months, most for any Premier League player as well. His 181 goals also puts him as Manchester City's highest ever goal
Yes.
scorer and only the second highest goal scorer for a single club. The first one being Wayne Rooney with 183 goals scored for Manchester United. And yeah, not a whole lot to talk about his time in Barcelona, but he did score a goal in El Clasico, so that's again something to take home in his short stint at Barcelona, even though he did not get to play with Lionel Messi. But all round fabulous player. Unfortunately, he is in an era where we've been blessed with players like Lewandowski, Harry Kane, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, obviously, but just so many other great talents that you would often kind of slip him under the radar for the most part. But my oh my, in any other era, he would be easily right up there in like the top 4 or 5 players in the world with the kind of numbers he put up at Manchester City. Sorry about that. Um, but I just wish him all the very best. Hope he feels he takes some solace in the fact that people will remember him for the memories that he has given us, and we will always think of him as one of the greatest strikers to have ever played in the Premier League. But yeah, moving on to another kind of related subject, is his troubles back home at Arsenal, with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang being stripped of his captaincy. It's kind of related because now he's being linked to Barcelona as a potential replacement for Sergio Aguero. Karthik, your take on this situation?
This decision was not made just basis of the fact that it was only one incident. It was not just one. It was multiple incidents. One of the bigger incidents that we remember is him being excluded from the North London Derby because he had turned up late for training. From Arteta's presser, I could understand that he was being given some leeway and given some additional discount over other players, but the manager had to make a decision and he had to set a precedent. I think he sets a good precedent where you have to have one standard across for your entire lineup, and he's just sticking to it. I really don't understand the flack that Mikel Arteta is getting right now for actually coming out with the decision and airing it out in public. I mean, you want to call it don't air out your dirty laundry, but at least this stops the speculations and the rumor mill that the British media was trying to spread.
Yeah, and I think the main reason why he might be getting that flack is because it comes in the backdrop of a fairly emotional and sympathetic situation on Aubameyang's part. I mean, his mother was sick, and the whole trip that he did make to France was for that sort of reason. It was a very intimate reason for why he was allowed to travel in the first place. So I guess that's where the sympathy for him comes from. But I agree that when you're a professional, when you're in this sort of a fixture crunch, it's hard to look past trying to do your best for the team. It's a tough line to toe, but probably the best decision. My issue is with the very fact that he got the captaincy after Granit Xhaka in the first place, because there was already that sort of rift between him and Arteta. Like you mentioned, he already dropped him once for the North London Derby as well. So irrespective of the fact that they may have patched things up after that, I still didn't quite get why Aubameyang was given the captaincy to begin with. It probably wasn't the best candidate in the first place, which again makes this decision look worse off in hindsight, because he's not really even been the captain for such a long time. So it is a weird situation, and now he's being linked to Barcelona on the back of this. He was left out of the squad against West Ham as well. Again, Arteta looking good at the back end of it because we came away with a win, but draw or a loss, and the story might have been something else.
Yeah, definitely.
I have two more questions for you. One, what do you think about this move? Do you think, if at all it's actually on the cards, is that a good move for Arsenal? Is that a good move for Barcelona? Is that a good move for Aubameyang? And B, who do you think should be the next captain?
So, question one, I couldn't care less about whether it was a good move for Barcelona or not. I really don't have any sort of feelings for that club. I've made that clear earlier as well. So, for me, I think this seems a detrimental move for Arsenal, at least for the fact that you can't get a top-notch striker in January and then integrate him into the team and things like that. I doubt that we'll be able to afford a striker solution right at this moment. So maybe a move in the summer, that might still be okay because you still get more time to take care of things. To answer your second question, I might have a hot take, but I think Martin Odegaard does have a chance at the captaincy because one, he's the national team captain. I know it's Norway, they aren't really going anywhere, but hey, he's still the national team captain and still has a sense of what the role and responsibility includes. And second, I'm not buying the argument that you need to be of a certain age to be a captain, because Tony Adams became Arsenal captain when he was 21 years old. And guess who? Yeah, and guess how he turned out. And even says Fabregas for that example. So the age argument is out of the window. I really think Odegaard would be a better choice because the other options seem to be the popular ones, that is Tierney or Ramsdale. I personally don't want Ramsdale to be captain, not at least for now. I mean, I want him to grow in. I know he's already grown into his position. That number one shirt is his, definitely. And Tierney, I really don't want one of my favorite players to fall into the captaincy trap and maybe not do so well or do okay. It's kind of that situation where the last 7, 8 Arsenal captains haven't really had a significant impact after being captain and things like that.
Mhm.
Call me superstitious, but I'm just going by data here. So I think I personally would want Odegaard to be captain, but next season, not now. And I think this season we should just rotate with whoever is senior in the squad, like a Lacazette, or maybe eventually give it to Xhaka if Lacazette does not complete the game, and not really have a firm captain appointed. That at least keeps the issue at bay, and nobody's going to talk about it because as soon as Arteta or anyone at the club tries to appoint or determines a new captain, then there is going to be flag. There's going to be stories being spun. Then with the Aubameyang speculation about him leaving, all of that will just come to a boil. I don't want that situation to happen. I'd rather not deal with the captaincy labeling thing right now because we've got more things to solve. We need to realistically focus on top four and have our targets elsewhere.
Well, yeah, Arsenal fourth now, so definitely seeing things going really well for us. Let us know what your takes are. Who you think should be the captain for Arsenal going forwards, and what you think about the Aubameyang to Barcelona move as well. And leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like always, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for showing your support. We're so close to 100 subscribers, so help us grow right into it. Also follow us on Filter Coffee Footy on Instagram. And yeah, take care. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.